All right, good morning, folks. Today is Tuesday, May 31st. Welcome to the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing. I'm your host, Gerald Auger. It's coming off the rails today, people. Simply Cyber's morning cybersecurity threat briefing. Over the next 30 minutes, in some capacity, I can't promise what this is going to look like. I'll be delivering the top cybersecurity news of the day and providing expert analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're looking to break into the industry, we've got you covered. Shout out and thanks to this stream sponsor, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Cyber criminals have stolen your company's data and derailed your business operations. Barricade Cyber Solutions will help you resolve this ransomware attack and get your business back on track. Really, the key takeaway here is, guys, if you suffer a major incident, including ransomware, and you're running around like, what the hell? Just remember, Barricade Cyber Solutions is available. This is what they do. They deal in crisis, cyber crisis. So, again, the reason I spend a second to emphasize that is because I had someone reach out to me last week and be like, do you know anyone who does this? And I'm like, yeah, Barricade. I mention it every morning on the show that you attend. And they're like, oh yeah, I do. I forgot about that. So just remember that. Also, I want to remind you that if you hold a professional certification like CISP, CISA, CISM, any of those wonderful C and then a bunch of letters, the Daily Cyber Threat Briefing is worth half a CPE per episode. So they stack, right? 2.5 a week, 10 a month. So be sure to document literally the easiest, and I would argue with anyone, the most enjoyable way to earn CPEs. If you're live, love it. Love it. 58 of you stacked in here. You picked a great day to be here, because I'm telling you what, I don't know what's about to happen with this production, but thank you for being here. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate it. Thank you for catching the stream. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Always love it engaging with all of you. If you want to jump right to the news, when that ticker in the corner gets to 0, we will be starting. Pretty standard stuff here if you're not new here. So if you're watching on replay, you have the benefit of time control, like the time stone in the those famous movie series. Don't want to say any buzzwords and get another show canceled from the YouTube algorithm. So you can grab that thing, slide to the right till it hits 0 and get right into the news. But if you want to hang out, if you want to see what might happen with this production, just let it roll, because I'm going to be welcoming folks in the stream and continuing to try to refine what the heck is going on behind the controls here. So good morning, everybody. What's up, Chris Hidalgo? What's up, the universe? Bill Green, Cybersec, Kevin, Dennis Schulte, Anna Lynn, always enjoying it. Thanks for hitting that like button, Carrie. Hey, Kimberly. And by the way, if Brent Gurry or Matt Mears are in here, hello to you guys. I know they were pretty upset on Friday that I didn't say what's up to them. I spent some time with them this weekend, get my light straightened out. For those of you who don't know, the live stream that I did with Stefan Waldvogel was too hot for YouTube. It was instantly banned. I was given no explanation on why it was banned, and I was given no opportunity to appeal, which is really unusual. I've had a couple issues with YouTube in the last couple years, and you're always given an opportunity to appeal and discuss it, especially once you reach a partner level. And this one was like, no, this is banned. So, and if anyone was there, it was not spicy. My only thought is that we did mention a keyword in the stream that led me to believe that may have been like an instant ban. It wasn't a bad word. It wasn't a 4-letter word. It was just a specific word that we're not allowed to say. Okay, so what's up, Joe? Kimberly, if you want to know what it is, DM me on LinkedIn and I'll tell you what's up. Hey, Jessica Probst. Hey, Jess Bishop. Junior, what's up? Yeah, we'll see on those platforms. I do push all of my videos to another platform, which I never promote. I never tell anyone. A couple people have found it, but we'll see. I'm fine playing by the rules. I like YouTube as a platform, so we'll see. Amadou, good to see you. Hey, Georgia, what's up? Peaches, right? Is Georgia the peach state? I know it's peaches, but I don't know if it's the peach state. There is a recording, George, but you can only find it on LinkedIn and Twitter, of all places. So it might be on Twitch. I don't know. I don't think so. But if you can go back to LinkedIn and look at Simply Cyber's company page, you'll be able to find it there. Yeah, Kimberly knows what's up. Hey, Spastic, good to see you. Guys, hey, Eric Taylor. Yeah, I know. I'm the most conformist, above board, not, I mean, it's spicy, but not spicy, person. And, it got banned. So that's how that rolls. Guys, I'm going to try to hit a sound button right now. As we're about to get into the show, you're going to find out, you're going to start seeing all the challenges and issues that we're about to experience. But first off, let me hit the spicy and see if you guys get it. I can't hear it. Does anyone hear it? I don't know. Let me see. My whole production is really tightly baked in here on my board. And did anyone hear the spicy? No sounds. All right. Thank you. Did you see the Stormers post I sent you? Yes, I did. I looked at that. I did. I didn't spend a terrible amount of time. I was doing some stuff with the family. Yes, South Carolina is the fireworks state. Anywhere that the highway crosses the border into South Carolina, there is a large fireworks store. No problem. Good morning, Mark Lester. Good morning, Base. Good to see you so early in the morning. Surprised to see you so early in the morning, Base, but happy to have you here. Hey, Patrick. Good to see you. Hey, Philippe. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying that GRC course. All right, let me try spicy again. Oh, yeah. I heard it that time, so let's hope everybody else heard it. This could be a good sign, people. This could be things to come. I have no monitor, right? So normally I'm looking right at you in the eye. My monitor isn't working. Something's wrong with that. I left everything on last night because I had like a impromptu session with somebody that I don't normally do. And it screwed up everything, like as far as like me leaving stuff on and walking away. So, anyway, so my iPad wasn't charging. My soundboard screwed up. My monitor's off. I got to get this all sorted out after the stream this morning. All right, guys. So it's that time. Let me see here. So my iPad, here's the fun facts. My iPad has 14% health. It's like an iPad 2 or something. It's very much, pulled from the junk drawer, repurposed 5 times over. Now it's the Simply Cyber official daily cyber threat briefing podcast system. I have no confidence in this thing being able to last the entire show. Oh, it just died. Oh, man. All right. So as a backup plan, we'll use my phone, which also the plug. If anyone owns an iPhone, I swear to God, there's a intentional, deliberate engineering design where after a while the charger cable doesn't work, so you have to buy more chargers over time. Like I basically have like it on subscription with Amazon, like every 3 months, send me a charger. But because of that, last night's the night that my phone decided it was done charging. So it's at 30% now. I'm going to plug it in. This is my contingency plan. Guys, we're InfoSec pros, right? We always have plan Bs. Like, that's why if you've ever been with the show where you see me do manual sound effects, you know what plan B looks like and how hideous it can be. Okay, here we go, guys. May 31st, China. All right. Here we go. Wish me luck. There we go. Oh, come on, bro. So it's all right. Anybody an 80s kid? The old Nintendo cartridge trick? See if it works on 2022 iPhones. Here we go. Come on, man. Don't do this to me right now. You're killing me, Smalls.
Cybersecurity headline.
All right. You guys can hear that, right?
It's Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. China censoring open source code. Earlier this month, the popular Chinese code repository platform Giddy made open source code for thousands of developers private and hidden from view. The platform explained that the code was being manually reviewed before it could be published, saying it didn't have a choice in the policy. This new policy requires developers to submit an application and confirm their code doesn't contain anything that would violate copyrights or Chinese law. Although projects are being restored after submitting applications, developers worry this could lead to decreased collaboration and reluctance to contribute.
Hold on. I'm hearing that the podcast is really quiet. Let me max that up. Give me a second, guys. All right, let me juice it.
Open source code going forward.
All right.
Folina 0.
Let me know if the audio is. I just turned it up a little bit because one of the mods said it was low. Again, I didn't really catch most of this story. It sounds like basically China is censoring the GitHub alternative in China, right? So it's called Gitty. Yeah, whatever. So I mean, it's not a surprise, right? There's a lot of competitor, major things, right? There's an Amazon competitor, there's a GitHub competitor. We read recently that it was either China and North Korea was going to be developing their own Windows operating system, version. I think it was China. So they're decoupling from the kind of global supply chain economic thing. And this is just another one of those. But what's interesting is they are censoring, which doesn't surprise me, the open source GitHub repo. If I had to guess, guys, this is just classic espionage, right? So if China is going to be seeing that open source community and trying to benefit from all that open source research and development, they don't want it to be open source to the world. They just want it to be kind of a technical advantage to the Chinese government, the Chinese population. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing this. It's basically open source on guardrails, or open source with bumpers. It's open source to the effect of it. It's open for China to use, but not open for, what the Chinese government determines they don't want the international community to be mindful of. So that's how I read this. Not a lot for us to do. It's just more interesting from the geopolitical landscape.
Day hits office. Late last week, the security researcher Neosec discovered a malicious Word document in VirusTotal tied to an IP address in Belarus. This contained a command line string able to execute malicious PowerShell commands through the Microsoft Diagnostics tool, even if macro scripts were disabled. Security researcher Kevin Beaumont clarified that this appears to use the remote replate feature to fetch an HTML file from a remote server, although Office's protected view feature does warn of a potentially malicious document. This can be avoided if the file is changed to a rich text format. Researchers have dubbed this zero-day Folina and were successfully able to reproduce it. Microsoft was informed of the issue back in April, initially saying it wasn't security related, but marked it as fixed on April 12th. Bleeping Computer reached out from Microsoft for more details.
Oops. So someone jumped the gun at Microsoft declaring this wasn't a security issue. So a couple really interesting things here, right? First off, Kevin Beaumont, if you're not following him on Twitter, it's at Gossy the dog. Someone in chat, if you could just drop a link. He is excellent at, you want him in your Twitter feeds if you're interested in information security. Second, what's really interesting is this particular maldoc, which somebody dropped on the Simply Cyber Discord servers over the weekend. So much love on that. The key thing is here, it can run PowerShell with macros disabled, which has been like the saving, grace of how we educate end users. Don't enable macros. Even Microsoft has gone as far as actually having macros disabled now or not available in future versions like Windows 11 or 10 or something like that. I don't have all the details right now in my mind, but I'm sure chat's going to share that. It's it's going the way of the dodo. So for this to be available and executable without that element required is interesting. And if it does, in fact, if Microsoft doesn't nip this in the bud, I could see more threat actors using this mechanism, if you will, in order to run their code, because they've got the payloads, right? And they've got the victims, and the mechanism that they execute payloads on the victims was always enabling macros, and then they run the payload. Well, since that got nerfed, basically, if they can find something that replaces that, the kill chain will continue to execute, right? So it's brilliant. The fact that Microsoft said it wasn't The security thing is kind of laughable, but there's a great little YouTube video here. I'll just see if we can see it really quickly. Who's this? Didier Stevens? Yeah, I think Didier Stevens is the one who makes all the OLE dump PDF executables. You should definitely check out Didier Stevens on his website. Let me see this really quickly. Can I do this? How can I do this? Can we do this? Yeah. Yeah, you can see it's just executing. There you go. He's got Microsoft Word popped open. The malicious code is inside the doc. You can see it running there in the shell on the bottom. The troubleshooter, I guess that is the executable that they're kind of taking over. And there's your classic Windows calculator launching. You can see he's run procmon to be able to track what's going on. I'm sure he'll scroll down to see calc, and you'll see WinWord had run that. Yep. See. Although MSCLT is not what I think of when I think of calc. But anyways, this is the deal. A couple things just with this YouTube video for you guys. One, great little demo that highlights this. Two, procmon is a really great, this is process tree, but procmon, and I guess process tree, I'm not familiar with that, but procmon is a standard tool in the security researcher toolbox or malware analyst toolbox. And finally, if you don't know this, popping calculator is like the standard way that you demonstrate an executable. Because if you can launch calc.exe, it means you can run any .exe, including malicious payloads, right? So this is the standard way to demonstrate that you've got remote code execution or, arbitrary code execution. In fact, normally at conferences, when someone pops a calc, everybody in the audience claps and celebrates because it's a good time. Okay, let's keep going.
EnemyBot botnet acts fast. This Linux-based botnet recently expanded its capabilities, now able to target recent security vulnerabilities across web servers, Android devices, and CMS platforms. Researchers at AT&T Alien Lab warned that EnemyBot proved it's able to rapidly adopt new zero-day vulnerabilities to expand its reach. It's also recently made changes to help find new hosts, incorporating a new scanner to search random IP addresses associated with public-facing assets for vulnerabilities. The source code for EnemyBot is also currently available on GitHub, although its README file says it's not responsible for any damages it caused and that it's considered art.
I mean, I don't. First of all, I didn't realize AT&T bought Alien, right? If this is the same Alien that has the OTX threat intelligence feeds, if it's that one, when did AT&T get in the game? Am I late to this? AT&T Alien Labs? Okay, I guess they have that. Now, what's interesting is it says EnemyBot. Oh, okay. Okay. For some reason, I thought they said it moved really fast, right? This is, guys, like this doesn't seem that crazy. Okay. So it's basically a bot type malware that will exploit a piece of software and take it over, install itself. Now it's a bot in a botnet. It can be weaponized. It can be used to infect other machines. It can be used for distributed denial of service attack. This is pretty standard stuff. And you can see here, this is really nicely done. The actual EnemyBot is broken into 4 pieces, right? So don't think of malware as like a single executable. This is probably a single executable, but it's modular in architecture, right? So this right here is cool. This is what makes it wicked powerful. This allows it to basically look at what kind of system it's on and then pull down the correct dependencies, DLLs, executables, whatever you want to call it, the right drivers to run on that operating system. And that's why it's able to exploit web servers, Android, CMS, Linux boxes, all these different things, because it's basically fingerprinting the system first, then pulling down the correct stuff to execute. Then we've got our core botnet, pretty standard stuff. This is so it can hide its communications with the C2 functionality, which is right here. And this is where it gets its commands: attack this target, install ransomware on this machine, whatever. And you can see this isn't new, guys. This isn't like groundbreaking malware. I don't even maybe it's has a high success rate because of this this ability to infect multiple architectures. But like Quackbot, Mirai, like this has been going on for a while. So, whatever, like standard process, do what you normally do, keep machines clean, watch your C2 or watch your traffic for C2. If you're more advanced, you may want to look at Black Hills Information Security's RITA tool, which can help detect, it's basically used exclusively for detecting beaconing, which is what those botnets or bots on the botnet will be doing. They need to check in with their C2 server to see if there's new commands, and they will be doing it on some type of cadence, which is very unhuman-like. It's very computer-like. So if you see a machine beaconing, essentially, you can be tipped off. Also, as a fun fact, this Lumos system right here, I watched this story. This is cool. This is really cool. It uses augmented reality to find hidden devices. So you could walk into a hotel room or Airbnb and like scan the room really quick, and it'll tell you if there's, a camera, a Ring doorbell, microphone. Very, very cool. Just fun fact, Lumos AR system. Okay.
Turns out China is good at SEO. The Brookings Institution and the Alliance for Securing Democracy issued a report showing that Chinese state news agencies are very good at optimizing for search engines. At least one Chinese state news article appeared in the top 10 searches for Xinjiang about 88% of the time on Google and Bing, and 98% of the time on YouTube. They're even better when it comes to news-focused sections. Chinese state media accounted for 22% of observed pages in Google News and Bing News related to Xinjiang and coronavirus origins versus 6% on the web.
Interesting.
And now,
very interesting. Okay, so basically what they're saying here is it's not hacking the system, but it's taking advantage of the way that the Google algorithm will determine what is a good result. Remember, guys, Google, its entire business model is to deliver, its business model is really to deliver targeted ads to a specific client base. But for us as consumers, it's very good at delivering high value search results, because like, who goes to page 2 of Google, right? Like, you basically Google something and then you're delivered like high value results, which is cool. But if you know how to game the system, which obviously Simply Cyber doesn't, because we're not showing up on the first level of Google. You can basically shape the narrative of what normal is and what the truth is based on certain things. Because most people are going to Google, like, I don't want to use these keywords here, but like, let's say you Google, like, what's the best blender? Well, if you've spent a ton of time and money on SEO, you might have a awful blender, but you're able to become the first result in Google. So, people are like, oh, best blender. I assume I'll take it as an assumption that that's the best blender, right? So anyways, this is an interesting way of information warfare or information control. It's just done in a way that's a little bit more within the confines of the rules versus, misinformation, disinformation, kind of pushing that. So anyways, interesting story. Do love me some Canary tokens. All right, let me see really quick. I think it's, oh gosh, I think it's commercial. Hold on. Oh my God. Again, you're going to have to, because I'm a security person, I have locks on my phone. So now I have to unlock it. Here we go. Let's see. Oh God, it's because of the this thing. All right. No promise on whether the podcast is going to come back, but real quick, I do want to do one quick thing here. Let me do this while I get this sorted out. Let me see. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let's see. Stand by. This is ish. Here we go. Okay. All right. I do want to take a minute, just because it's very timely and very relevant. Guys, if you are going, like, I don't know if anyone here is going to RSA or BSide San Francisco next week. Like, drop it in chat. I'm actually kind of curious if you are. Oh, thanks, Annalyn. Alien Vault. Yeah. if you are going to BSide San Francisco or RSA, I just want to make you aware, and you can do exclamation point integer in chat, which I'll do right now to get here. Integer. Yeah. So whatever. Integer reached out to me and asked me just to share this with folks. I use Integer personally. I've had him on the show a couple times to showcase the tool. I use it for like malware analysis, but it is much more powerful than that. They do threat hunting, detect and hunt. It's like an entire SecOps suite. They do have a freemium model, so you can like try it out and analyze some stuff and see what it's all about. But if you're going to RSA or BSides and you're interested in augmenting your SecOps capability, or for me, it gives me speed and time, right? I don't have a lot of time to analyze malware. I don't have a lot of time to investigate things. So it gives me the benefit of basically getting like almost immediate adjudication on what the heck I'm looking at. And then I make decisions and move forward. So if you go to the link in chat here, the info.integer.com/bsidessf meetings, you basically just drop your name and stuff in there, and you could just have a quick coffee or beer. I'm sure they'll have both with Integer in San Francisco. So whatever. If you're interested in having that capability or learning more, it's a pretty, it's a non-committal. It's just meeting with them. All right. Thank you to Integer. All right. Let's move on and keep on trucking. See if I can get this going.
Faroot Secure's client-side web hackers didn't cause Terra USD collapse.
Oh.
The crypto research firm Nansen reports that the collapse of the stablecoin can't be attributed to a single attacker. Rather, it seems the precipitous decline can be tied to a series of trades from a number of actors, including the lender Celsius Network. There's no evidence that trading activity was designed to destabilize the coin. Rather, it may have been made to conform to risk management constraints or reduce their exposure due to turbulent economic conditions. The result was that on May 11th, two wallets, one tied to Celsius, withdrew roughly 420 million UST from Anchor Protocol, significantly impacting the UST stablecoin's depegging from the US dollar.
Okay.
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
All right, guys. So another day, another crypto hot mess on fire. Okay, so check this out. I am not, you guys know where I stand on crypto and all this nonsense. Even NFTs. I posted on LinkedIn the other day how Seth Green got, if you will. But if you are interested in learning a little bit more, I do dabble in trying to stay a little bit educated on this space because it's so in the news. CoffeeZilla on YouTube does a fantastic job of kind of forensically investigating different cryptos and frauds and scams and stuff. Fascinating read from a kind of DFIR perspective, which, you know, is near and dear to my heart. The thing with this Terra coin, the whole concept behind stablecoin is that it's pegged, meaning it's like tied to an actual hard currency, and in this case, USD or United States dollar. And the concept is, oh, don't worry, like it's not gonna be wicked volatile like blockchain, or excuse me, not wicked volatile like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Doge or any of these other ones. It's going to be pegged, so you don't have to worry about it. Well, over last week, Terra and Luna, which is one of the coins that's tied to Terra, and again, it gets complicated where there's like multiple coins that kind of tie into each other. But they went like way down, like almost to zero. Like it depegged itself, which according to the white papers is impossible, right? So a lot of people have a lot of questions. Again, to me, I feel like I am like at the aquarium, and you know that at every aquarium, and if you haven't been to an aquarium, I'll try to describe this as best I can. At every aquarium, there's like one room where it's like floor to ceiling glass, and you could see the big shark tank and all the fish, and usually a scuba diver comes down there and like waves to all the kids and stuff. Like there's that room. I feel like I'm in an aquarium of sanity, and behind the glass is like this hot crypto mess going on, and there's all sorts of like predators, and like there's like the slinky little fish that looks like sand, and it's just kind of hiding it under the rock. You don't really see it until it like jitters and the dust comes up. Like there are all sorts of these things going on, whether it's straight up scams. Dude, we just saw Kim Kardashian, Paul Pierce, go Boston Celtics, and a couple other like big names have been either indicted or they're like the authorities want to talk to them, something like that, around pump and dump schemes. And I don't even know if those celebrities are aware that they were involved in those pump and dump schemes, but like it's rampant here. Paul Pierce, pump and dump, right? I won't spend a lot of time on this, right? Oh yeah, they're being sued, right? Being sued. Kim Kardashian being sued. Okay. So, geez, this Kim Kardashian one's from January last year. So Kim's involved in a bunch of different things, right? Floyd Mayweather. So, anyways, this is all a long way to say, guys, that you do you make your own financial decisions. But for me, I'll be on this side of the glass in the aquarium, just watching this situation as it continues to develop. It is messy. All right.
Google bans deepfake training on Colab. Google's Collaboratory, or Colab service, provides free computing resources for researchers to run Python code in the browser. This includes GPU resources, making it ideal to train machine learning projects like deepfake models. Earlier this month, Google quietly added deepfakes to its list of disallowed projects. It's unclear if this was done over ethical concerns surrounding deepfakes, or just that significant resources are being tied up by frequent use for these projects. Other projects already banned on Colab include crypto mining, password cracking, running DDoSes, and downloading torrents.
Okay, a couple things. One, obviously Google banned this not because it was taking up resources, but because of its implications. Like, I appreciate that the reporter is willing to entertain that it was taking too much resources, but Google literally owns one of the top 3 compute architectures in the world, or at least in the United States. And like, yeah, come on. But anyways, good on Google. I didn't know about this collab thing. This is very cool that they offer this tech for researchers to be able to do all this type of innovative research. Very cool. The fact that they banned crypto mining and some of these other kind of more nefarious activities is fantastic. Way to go, Google. I know that their motto used to be "Do no evil" or like something like that, and they got rid of that a couple years ago, which made a big kerfuffle. But this is righteous. Like, there isn't a lot of, I mean, besides Hollywood, there isn't a lot of good use cases for deepfake technology, right? We've seen, we've seen this be used in very nefarious ways, right? Obviously the adult industry is one, which is very compromising to female celebrities, but we've also seen a couple limited use instances where business email compromise attacks are leveraging deepfakes to establish a Zoom session or a Microsoft Teams session where the threat actor actually has like the CEO's face on their face, and then they turn off the mic, turn off the camera, and say that there's some audio video issue, but I need you to send money out. And the financial analyst who's about to make the poor decision to send the money out has a lot of faith because they just saw the CEO, CFO, whoever on the screen. So a lot of different use cases. Very cool that they are blocking this, but deepfakes, the genie's out of the bottle, guys. It's interesting tech. Again, I'm stunned that we haven't seen more like political related utilization of deepfakes. All right, hold on. Again, I lost my podcast. Hold on. You guys are the best for allowing me to struggle today. Do I have a here? You know what? Yeah, throw a fireball at my setup today.
Academics' credentials leak online.
Ugh.
The FBI published a new private industry notification warning relevant institutions that credentials belonging to higher education organizations in the U.S. have been advertised for sale on dark web marketplaces. FBI data shows that these sales began as of January 2022, offering credentials to several U.S.-based colleges and universities, preceded by a dump of 36,000 email and password credentials available on Telegram in May 2021. No specifics on how these credentials were obtained, but the FBI said it was likely from a combination of phishing ransomware, or another cyber intrusion.
Okay. Here's the deal, y'all. Let me look at chat really quick. Okay. Here's the deal. I went to a cookout over Memorial Day weekend, and I was inundated with end users who were very upset about the fact that they were having to use multi-factor authentication and that their sessions timed out after a period of inactivity. Now I let them rant, right? I let them rant. There was no throwing them in the pool. But I want to let you know that the argument was, what I have access to isn't sensitive. It's not a big deal. I don't see why I have to go through all these hoops and hurdles to access this system. And they didn't say threat actor, but they said, if someone gets in there, what's the big deal? Okay, couple things. One, I will be real. Some systems need to not have that level of security, right? This is a bigger macro picture GRC thing. So if you're interested, please listen, right? In the big picture, if you tighten all the screws down, when you really need to tighten a screw down for real risk reduction, you may have already spent some of your political capital and upset your user base because they don't see the value of it. And sometimes they're right. Like, you don't need 3 layers of authentication to log into a manufacturing machine that's not on the network in the middle of a plant. Okay. Like, let's be real. You must make risk-based decisions when you're choosing controls to put in your environment. Okay. Now, having said all that, I want to point out U.S. academic credentials for sale. We saw this not too long ago. You might think, oh, what's the big deal? They log into my email, or, oh, they can change my students' grades, right? Like, these things can have devastating impact. But think about this for a minute. A lot of faculty at universities are doing more than just teaching Cyber 101. Okay. They're doing research with research partners, both in the private sector, like Microsoft, Google, like we just saw Google's Collab, which allows researchers to do research. They're doing work with the Department of Defense. They have access to research databases, which are not free, right? So there's licenses to access those. Plus, there's a ton of knowledge there. And those research databases have certain guidelines on who is authorized to have access to those databases at all. We saw a couple years ago, under the auspices of a group, I wanted to call them, it's not the Mumbai Institute. It was a fake front. Give me 1 second. It was Iranian fake institute. What do they call it? Academic credentials, compromise, FBI. Let's see if that gets us what we need. Yeah. It was, I want to know the name. Guys, this was a couple years ago, right? Is there a timestamp on this? Oh, July 2021. There was another one. I guess they're back at it. But I won't bore you with that. Just know this. There is an entire ecosystem underneath of getting access to this stuff, selling that access to parties who frankly are not authorized to have that access. And then, of course, let's rinse and repeat and just say that higher education has, in the grand scheme of different industries, like financial services is the top as far as like good security. Higher education is really lower on the chart, right? Like near the bottom. Okay. And the reason is they just don't spend money in that space. And a lot of the academics are like, oh, like free education, free knowledge. Let's share all the thoughts. Let's collaborate. Like, let's not be hindered and shackled by control. Like, let's sit around in a circle and like just let our mind fly. Okay. So it's really not great. You can ransomware a university, right? We just saw a university, Liberty College, had to go out of business. It was in business for like 200 years, went out of business because it suffered a ransomware attack just a couple months ago, guys. So these credentials could be devastating for an institution. Okay. So don't think like, oh, what's the big deal? Always think about it. Okay. Nice. We're tacking at 117 folks in chat right now. Love it, love it, love it.
And now your Should Have Patched Tuesday update, Government Edition. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency added 3 batches of bugs to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog for a total of 75 over the course of 3 days. Federal civilian agencies have 14 days to patch them. Several of the vulnerabilities are quite old, including ones for Adobe Flash Player and a Microsoft Silverlight bug dating back to 2013. Bugs for Windows, the Linux kernel, and Internet Explorer also made the list. Several Oracle Java remote code execution bugs get the distinction for being the oldest, going all the way back to 2010. Thanks.
All right. Okay. So you might be asking yourself, but Jerry, how is it possible that people would be using technology that exists from 2010? Okay, a couple things. One, sometimes people write applications and they get so entrenched in like mission critical business operations that you have to start supporting legacy software like Microsoft Silverlight, which, by the way, I forgot about Microsoft Silverlight. That's how old that is. I want to say shout out to CISA for maintaining this list of actively exploited vulnerabilities. This is such an awesome public service. It allows people like you and I to be able to identify the critical vulnerabilities in our environment, because if you ever run a vulnerability scanner in your environment, you know how disgusting it is. It's like turning on the light in the back room of a house no one's been in for like a year, right? You're like, oh, like turn the light off. So it's nice to know which ones to target and look at. And the fact that they're even going as far back as 2010 to make sure that those are accurate. So the key takeaway for everyone here is, 1, hat tip to CISA. 2, make sure you go to CISA's site and like bookmark it and check it out periodically. Let's see. Can we find? Yeah, here it is. Right. They add this. Here it is. This is the catalog. Known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. Here, I'm going to drop it in chat. You should bookmark this and make it as part of your morning. Like, I don't know if people do this, but I like to have a morning kind of like sit rep for myself. Okay, like what am I doing today? What are the key things that I need to touch on? The daily cyber threat briefing is part of that touch. But also, I go here maybe like once every 3 or 4 days just to kind of check, because it's not that volatile a list. But I do check it regularly because you want to stay informed, especially if you have kind of legacy stuff in your environment, which happens all the time, guys. I've worked in environments that had Windows XP. Like in the last year, I've worked in environments that had Windows XP. Okay, so it's not fantasy and it's not a textbook where everything is modern. Things cost money and businesses don't want to invest all the time. Again, that's why our job is to advise, not to, we do lay the smack down, but it's to advise and help the business come to appropriate risk reducing decisions. All right, guys, I want to share with you, shout out to Jess Bishop for her idea on this Wednesday. So tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., I'll drop this in chat as well. If you go to ThreatGen's YouTube channel, so you can see it right there, ThreatGen, right? If you go to ThreatGen's YouTube channel tomorrow, I, Gerald Auger, will be going live and I'll be playing the ThreatGen Red versus Blue cybersecurity simulation platform. I do this every Wednesday at 11:30, barring something like I'm on travel or something. And I switch between defending and attacking. I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity to be able to do both sides of this discipline. I will be not just attacking a pipeline company on Wednesday at 11:30, but I will be operating exclusively under the context of Wizard Spider, the advanced persistent threat, really well known for Conti ransomware. They're known for TrickBot as well now. So they kind of absorbed TrickBot during a merger and acquisition event last year. Emotet, Ryuk ransomware, like they are next level APTs. Like they are, is in my opinion, minus like Lazarus Group and APT 41, like minus like the top tier nation state APTs. This is like a cyber criminal gang but they are the best as far as like if you wanted to appreciate the criminal operation. These are the top players. Okay, so anyways, I'll be operating under them. I'll be educating folks in chat on the MITRE ATT&CK framework, how I educated myself on being able to mimic and emulate Wizard Spider. And if everything goes well, you know, you got to make that money.
Great cash, homie.
So my idea is I'm going to ransomware all the things, maybe do a little data exfil for the double extortion, a technique made famous by those people. So that's the plan. So if you want to come hang out, square away the 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time block on your calendar tomorrow. Come join us, hang out. It'll be educational. It'll be entertaining. I'll have the soundboard going. I'll have all my tech fully charged, so we won't have to deal with that nonsense. And it'll be good. I know. I'm not trying to say a fanboy. It's just, here's the thing, guys. Like, I do not endorse or condone advanced persistent threat operations, especially cyber criminal ones. Conti like ruined Costa Rica like 2 weeks ago. As far as I know, Costa Rica is still completely jacked up. I don't like that. I don't support that. But from a pure like excellence perspective in business operation and focus and mission and execution, I wish they were applying their skills for good. But you know, there's a lot of like ragtag AP, like they're not even APTs. There's a lot of ragtag operations out there. And then when you see one that is like, you know, optimized, they're investing back into their operations. It's a marvel. Okay. But I do not condone, I do not like what they're doing. It's just for me to be able to execute as the APT tomorrow, I needed to analyze them and study them. So anyways, you can dislike what they do, but admire how they do it. Yeah, I mean, they're you know, whatever. I don't know. It's part of the cyber ecosystem, you know? Yeah. You know, they have an HR department. They have metrics, all that stuff. So anyways, yeah, they have a training budget. Like if you work somewhere that doesn't spend to take you to training, you know, okay, thanks, always learning. I do feel, here's my thing. I'm not trying to be defensive. For me, I say a lot of things up here, and I have an audience, right? So people, you know, I speak to a lot of people. So I want to be clear in what I'm saying, why I'm saying it, and I'm trying to clarify, basically, because, you know, it's important for me that people understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So also, I just want to share with you guys, this is such a cringe screenshot. I haven't made the promo card yet, but this Thursday, if you remember Josh Stroshine, that's this, you know, gorgeous, beautiful, bearded man right here. He's a good friend of mine. He has a PhD in cyber ops, also from Dakota State University. He's a faculty there. He's going to be coming on Simply Cyber for like round 2. This was round 1. And we're going to be reverse engineering some tech. We're going to be looking at his workflows and stuff like that. He's just a lot of fun. So if you enjoyed the talk with Josh the other time he came on, this will be that again. Again, this is really targeted for folks who like malware analysis, security research. Maybe you're trying to find your way in cybersecurity and find what tickles you. This could be a good opportunity to kind of dive deeper on, you know, basically reversing analysis and security research to see if it works for you. Whew. All right, guys. Nope, that's not right. Hold on. Is that right? That is right. All right, guys. So this has been the Cyber Threat Briefing. I'll spend a minute in chat here. Oh, Shinadu, the link for the Josh Stroshine live stream on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. is not available yet. I'll be building it this morning and sharing it on the Simply Cyber Discord channel and on LinkedIn. So you can get it there, and I'll definitely drop it tomorrow on stream during the morning cyber threat briefing. All right, Brian, Bob, Cybersecurity Central, Patrick, thank you all for being here this morning and embracing the technical issues that I had to deal with, that we all had to deal with. It was good times. We will see you tomorrow. It is Tuesday, May 31st. Goodbye, everybody.